Hello, and I'm hoping everybody's doing great today, and I bid you blessing on this, a most beautiful day, an incredible day actually, that's full of promise and excitement, and I cannot wait for this day to come to a full conclusion. However, be that as it may, the focus right now is on this video. You see, this video was done by founder Tyra, a wonderful young lady that's doing a whole lot of interviews with various GoFounders members as a way to tap into the big ONPASSIVE picture. Now in this, Tyra and I talk about how I came into ONPASSIVE and met Mr. Mufara, some of the benefits of being a founder, reasons why people have hesitations about joining, and some other things. I believe that Tyra is doing some good things here, so I would certainly ask that you support her. I have put her Facebook page and her YouTube page down below in the description box and would ask that if you'd visit it and maybe, subscribe, share, like, that sort of thing. Just support her in what she's trying to do. I thank you so very, very much for taking time to take a look at what we've done here. And regardless of anything and everything that's going on in the world today, I wish total blessings for you and for yours as we move into this brand new year.
Okay, here we are. Hi everyone, Tyra here in the spotlight, and I have a featured guest today. But before we get there, I want to say welcome to each of you. Thank you for joining me. If you are not following my Facebook page, please, I encourage you to do so, and then you know when I'm doing some of these lives. I also have a YouTube channel, which this video will be on. I encourage you to subscribe to that too. So a couple other things is I love comments, okay? But while I'm doing the interview, obviously, I can't interact with you. But please feel free to comment. If you haven't been with StreamYard before, where are they? There they are, their little logo. You'll have to give them permission so that I can post your comments as they come up. So everyone, without further ado, let's bring on Jeffrey Morlock. Jeffrey, welcome.
Hello. Thank you so much.
Glad you could join us today. How are things over there? You're over in the U.S., aren't you?
I am. I'm on the East Coast in a state called North Carolina, which is about dead center of the East Coast.
All right. Well, there's so much going on in the world today, and I am so very grateful to have found ONPASSIVE because it is such an amazing venue for us to go forward and start building some sustainable income where we're not going to have to worry about relying on something else.
Amen.
So some of my questions I have for you, you're some of the original when ONPASSIVE was just, I don't know if it even had a name at the beginning.
No.
But how did you meet Ash and how did you become involved in ONPASSIVE?
Wow. First of all, I agree with your statement that ONPASSIVE is absolutely awesome. And the whole foundation of ONPASSIVE is going to mean a whole lot for a lot of people worldwide. But getting to your question, I had a friend of mine in Virginia that had invited me to join ONPASSIVE. I had taken a precursory look at it and got a hold of him and told him, this won't work. Nobody does this. And he said, well, I'd really appreciate it if you, really take a look at this because I think this could be something. So I said, I'll tell you what, I'll take a look at it and I'll show you why it won't work. Well, famous last words, right? I looked at it for probably 2 or 3 weeks and exhausted everything I could do to find information about it. And so I had to join GoFounders so I could get more information. I thought I got to get in that back room and see what's going on. Thank the good Lord that I did that. When I got in there and I listened to some of these webinars and I went to the back room, I was just totally blown away, not so much by what I considered to be the opportunity because I didn't fully understand it yet. I mean, we were very, very small at the time, but what really blew me away was listening to Ash Mufareh, listening to Mr. Mufareh, the CEO, and he has a way of talking that if you listen and you go between what he says, between the lines, so to speak, and you listen to what he's not saying as well as what he is saying. Now, I don't know if that's by design or if that's just how he's built, but his heart came through so clear, so evident, and just so wonderfully that I thought, wow, even if this guy is not what he says, I mean, just because of what he sounds like and just because of what it is. So about 2 months into it, I had been creating a lot of information. I'd been documenting stuff that turned into the ebook. So that ebook that finally came out was simply me documenting everything I was learning. And then once I was in full tilt boogie, I mean, I was in it to win it. Then it turned into an ebook. I added more to it. I formatted it. I started sending it out to various people. Initially, that was through Facebook, like you got your page. Mm-hmm. And there was a guy named Jim and a young lady by the name of April. And I remember giving the book to them. And they were like, wow, this is really neat, you know, and they started passing it. And to finish answering your question, Cindy Hopkins and Ash and Victoria at the time got a hold of it. And that's when I met Ash. And Ash called, and when we talked about some stuff, and what a wonderful man. Just what a wonderful, wonderful man with a big heart. I mean, the heart is, you know, as big as the state of Texas, like they say. But it was his heart and his speech, his webinars that pulled me in. And within no time at all, I was in it. I mean, lock, stock, and barrel. I stopped doing everything else. I was in 2 or 3 other online ventures that hadn't really panned out. I had just gotten going good. I was not a marketer. So I'd been into it, the whole marketing thing, for about 6 or 8 months, found ONPASSIVE, quit everything else, and went with this. And it's been such a joyride.
Wow, that's really something. So you actually got to meet the CEO via phone or
Yeah. Mr. Mufareh, when we had first gotten going with this, and he said, well, what are you going to do with your ebook? I said, the ebook's for you. The ebook it's not mine. It's ONPASSIVE's. It's whatever you want to do. He said, I'm not going to change any of the words or anything like that. He said, but I like fancy. And I'd like to put some different graphics in it, because at the time I was using PowerPoint graphics and things like that just to get the point across. So he purdied it up, as I say. And then we started making it available from the back room. And he had called and talked about that. And then he had called again. We ended up doing a lot of talking back and forth for various things. When he had first started, Mr. Mufareh had gotten somebody, I think, from the Philippines to do the webinars. That didn't really work out. Then he got somebody, I believe, a government, pretty high up in the government worker from India, probably Calcutta area, since that's where his first office was, but I don't know for sure. I'm just kind of guessing. And that didn't really work out. And he gave me a call and said, I really like the way that you did the ebook. I'm wondering if I can get you to write the webinars, and Scott Nelson, who was doing the webinars at the time. So I said, absolutely. What do you want? He said, well, we need to put ONPASSIVE across from a real person. And I think that's going to be much better served if we've got a founder. And he said, I love the way you're logically minded. I like the way you put things together. If you can do a webinar for me, then we can get that to Mr. Nelson. And we did. So I did a couple of webinars, and we continue to talk. And, as we're doing all this, months are rolling by, and ONPASSIVE is growing. I had fully expected, as did most of the people in ONPASSIVE, that we would be launching probably in February of 2019, March, 2019. Which we had hit the momentum so hard by then. We were already into probably 15, 20,000 founders. They didn't expect that at all. I mean, it really gained momentum like nobody's business. And they had to pull an all stop. And when they got into the Calcutta office, the first thing they did was take GoFounders and made sure that we could use it as it was a usable marketing platform for Go founders and to keep us all in contact. That's where the social media, our community came in. And we could also communicate back and forth with ONPASSIVE developers, staffs, engineers, those sorts of things. And it was right about that same time that they had figured out, wow, we can't do that. We can't go like this. We have got to beef this up. We got to put more money into it. At the time, they had $100,000 budget with about a 90-day launch window, and they blew that right out of the water. Yeah. And it wasn't until Mr. Mufar says it was about April of 2019 when they finally got it right. And that's when we really started figuring things out. And I say we, obviously it wasn't me. It was Mr. Mufar and his team. He is the brainiac behind this whole thing. It's his heart that's in it, and it's completely interwoven with everything that's in ONPASSIVE. So about April, May of 2019, things really started picking up. And that's when we knew that we were into something big. So, but a lot of folks don't understand just how much we've grown and where we've come from. And there's been 4 or 5 or 6 milestones that we've hit, that at each milestone, it has affected the outcome. It's affected our timeline, and it's affected our size, so that our size has always become bigger, 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 bigger. I mean, we went from, having a few products with a small platform to a product suite with a large platform, and then it went product suite to what they call the smart business solution, right? And then toward the end of 2019, when they really got involved with the AI, they said, wow, we don't want to go to third-party people. We don't want second-party stuff going on. We don't want to get caught where somebody's controlling anything that we do, because Ash has been burned more than once like that, where he would achieve a certain level of success, and the people that held the software, so to speak, they would come in and swoop down like vultures and just abuse the people. So at every step that we did something, it pushes the launch out a little further, but it makes us bigger and stronger. And one of the last things that he made sure of was that with the automation and with the development of AI and integrating everything with that automation and the smart solution, which turned in from the smart business solution into an actual digital ecosystem. And then the ecosystem has been split into, what he's saying, 50 departments, which are, it's 50 IP stacks, which are, each one of those is a complete subsystem with things on it. So, I mean, it literally is businesses that are standalone.
Right.
So with everything that we've done, every time something was done, it would push the launch out a little more, because we want to make sure that nobody's controlling us. Nobody can stop us. Nobody can have a say in it, which is why he'll tell you right off, he will never put an IPO out. He will never sell the company. It'll always belong to them and to the founders, and that's why it was built. So I think I answered probably a little more than the question you were looking for, but that gives us a little history.
Yeah, no, that's just marvelous. It's always good to know, because when a new company is coming forward, it's good to know some of the history. There's ups and downs in every company, and as they build, and as you said, the expansion started, and it's just gotten stronger and stronger.
Oh, wow. Without a doubt. Some of those other things that pushed us out was when he had a handful of people in Calcutta, and we outgrew that pretty quickly, and then we moved the entire office to Bangalore. That takes time, and getting staff and staffing up and doing the things that they were doing in Bangalore. I mean, it takes time. Mm-hmm. And within like 3 months, we outgrew Bangalore. I mean, the learning curve for Ash, I mean, my hat is off to that man. So good. If you listen to him now and then listen to some of his older webinars, you can hear the experience that he now has, mm-hmm. and you can hear the growth that he's gone through. And a lot of it's been hard knocks, and his learning curve has been about a 50-degree angle. And you just gotta love the man for his fortitude. He is absolutely somebody that that has this vision, and it is locked into him, and he knows, it's kind of like a thoroughbred with blinders on, where that's what he sees and that's where he's going, and he is not letting anything or anyone affect or try to affect that vision, which is phenomenal. So obviously, then from Bangalore, we moved to Hyderabad, which, I mean, now we're sitting in a 7-story building with 5 active floors, 2 basements, the first ground, and a cafeteria up top, and it's been completely renovated for their use. And now we're probably up to 600 or 800. I mean, I'm not sure, but I'm sure it's 600 or 800, employees, and we're just moving right along. Moving right along, and it's all his vision.
Oh, it's amazing. So I just want to make note, folks, if you're listening to this and what Jeffrey was talking about, the ebook, if anyone's interested in it, please do let us know, comment, whatever, because we can get that ebook to you. Jeffrey's done just an amazing job. I just read the latest one you just did. I think it's about 8 pages.
What you're looking at is a handbook. That 8-page handbook was, I believe, started by Corinne over in Switzerland. A wonderful young lady with a heart the size of Texas, and just like Ash, I mean, she's just full of love and full of all sorts of good vibration, like the Beach Boys song says. But I think what you're looking at is the handbook.
Okay.
Which is excellent. I mean, that's like ebook, 2.0 or something. I mean, it's a great little thing to have, because the information has changed so much since that ebook first came out.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so now we've covered a little bit about the history that you've been involved with. So the big question, of course, is everybody's asking, whenever you present the company to someone, the first thing people are going to ask is, well, why would I join? What are the benefits of me becoming a founder? So can you expand on that for us a bit?
Oh, without a doubt. I'll probably go way out farther than what I should. But my mentality is, look at the world around you. Look at everything that is happening in the world and start connecting the dots. The world is in terrible, terrible shape. And I'm not a doomsdayer. I'm not a prophesier or professor of
prophetic.
Yeah, I'm not.
You're not being prophetic.
I'm not prophesying doom. Yeah, but I mean, if you look at us, the economy, global economy. If you look at political, if you look at anything, the entire globe is undergoing a tremendous amount of chaos. I know that I explained chaos in a couple of my previous videos. That you've got these systems in the world, and then you've got new systems that are coming up, and between the old and the new, we have what's called chaos, and that's simply because the old system is breaking down, the new system is building up, and we're in the middle, and it looks like there's no rhyme or reason, but there is literally rhyme and reason to what is going on. ONPASSIVE fits right smack dab into this entire scenario, because ONPASSIVE is a very new and radical online model. It's a business model that's never been done before, and it is the shape of the future. It's going to be the thing that once we launch and people see, and I'm sure there's people already looking at it. I can see through a lot of the emails that I go through in some of the platforms, where people are now using the same verbiage that we started using 2 years ago. Done for you, no recruiting. I mean, people are catching on, going, whoa, okay, this is the way it's got to go. And that's exactly why we're going to be disrupting the entire online market so severely, is because the model that we've got set up is going to be the new model. And it's not limited to one space online, like a single marketing space or a single business or anything like that. Our market cap is literally everybody in the world that is online, some 4.5 or 5 billion people. Because of this, because we have something for everybody all under one roof at one low price, we got no upsells, because you don't have to recruit, because you don't have to go get your own traffic. You don't have to try to pull your customers in. We do every bit of it. That is absolutely unheard of, and that's where the current model makes most of their money, and that's why we lose so often. It's because you have to go from one resource to the next and pull together everything you need to make your site work. You got to pray that it works together, and you got to pay for every component. With ONPASSIVE, we have literally, Tyra, it is literally an abbreviated internet. We have an abbreviation of the entire online experience, and that covers anything from people working in government to people working in education, whether it's homeschooling moms or university level, whether or not it is marketing, whether or not it's just hobbies. We've got something for everybody. It's all under one roof. And instead of paying, like Zoom, I think they charge what, like $5,000, $6,000 to have 10,000 people on a webinar. That's ludicrous. That's ludicrous. I mean, we've been on that and we've seen it crash at 2,500. So I don't know what they're buying, but I'd hate to see it with 10,000 people up there. But when you look at ONPASSIVE and what we've got, and we've got everything for probably, $250 or less a month, and that's including recruiting and traffic, and probably 30 or 40 items that people aren't even aware of or are using, the educational programs, the financial programs, the personal programs, educational programs that are outside of the normal business programs that we use. I mean, it's just absolutely phenomenal. And Mr. Mufar has created these things from ground up, from the scratch, and they own it. They own every bit of it. It's all interlaced with artificial intelligence, the machine learning, which does the automation and connects it all. It's absolutely phenomenal. And if you're wondering what is the draw for ONPASSIVE to pull me into it, that is it. If you've got a marketer out there that's paying $400, $500, $600, $700, and that's a low number a month to run their business, if you can cut that by a half or a third, man, life is good, especially when you get 10 times more products, right? And they're smarter, faster, sweeter. They're all brand new tech. There's no copies. Nobody's taken some old funnel and put a new bow on it and sold it with new. This is all fresh. Some of this stuff is cutting edge technology. And ONPASSIVE, let me tell you, these guys are thinking at the leading edge of thought. I mean, they're in 5D if you want to go that high, and the rest of the world is in 3D. So anybody that's looking to do something, anything, and want it to be something that is literally done for you and almost completely hands-off, ONPASSIVE is the way to go. When we start looking at the way the world is going, and we start looking at ONPASSIVE, then the two of those are lined up absolutely parallel. And when I say that the way the world is going, I'm saying there's going to be a lot of resets. There's going to be a lot of systems that go down and then come back up, just like the online marketing. Now, ONPASSIVE, if you look at Airbnb and what they did for hospitality, ONPASSIVE is going to do the exact same thing for online businesses. I mean, that is our space, and we're just going to rewrite it. So life is good.
Yeah. Well, folks, if you are hearing this and the light bulbs aren't going on, I highly recommend running out to the store and grabbing a brighter light bulb, because this is truly an opportunity that comes around once in a lifetime. That's why you're seeing people like Jeffrey and what are we, 440,000 that are super excited about this, that 2 to 3 people a minute are joining.
Oh, absolutely. I timed it this morning. You're right. 2 or 3 minutes. I mean, 2 or 3 people per minute is joining right now today. I mean, I was looking at it. It went from 449,026 to 449,276 in less than 2 hours. So yeah, it's going crazy. And if we haven't hit 450 by now, you're that close.
Yes. Yeah. So run out to the store, guys, get a brighter light bulb, because truly, even with the becoming a founder and the entry fee of $97, It's a lifetime money back guarantee. So what is it you're losing? Nothing.
Oh, that's a good point. That $97 that you're paying right now, that is for a founder position. That is for the first line leader position. It's a one-time payment and you're done. And with that, you get everything that ONPASSIVE is getting. I mean, oh man, I can't tell you how big that is. If you've ever wanted somebody to build a money-making machine for you, pay the $97, get in, become the founder, because as soon as you become a founder, especially if you start to build a team or build your network, as we say, and you start to bring others in, as soon as we go into the soft launch, which I think is probably going to be, my personal opinion, probably in February, halfway through February, I would imagine. But as soon as we go into soft launch, then the company is going to be testing the money flow programs and the marketing programs, and the results of those will end up putting some dollars into our pockets. But even bigger than that, the marketing program is going to bring more founders in and put those founders who can have teams in your founder's position or in your founder's network. Now, quite basically what that means is every founder that you have in your network becomes, or potentially becomes, an entire leg of income for you that will grow perpetually, because as we go into the actual launch of ONPASSIVE, then the marketing that's going to happen, and we've got 6 or 7 campaigns, we're called super campaigns, that we're already, I mean, they're set and they're ready to launch. Once we launch, we're going to get those campaigns going. And that's one of the founder benefits that you're going to have as a founder, is that they are going to do those marketing through those campaigns, and they're going to put people, members, customers in your downline. So it's going to be phenomenal, and you will start making money, whether you do anything or not. I mean, before you do something so it happens faster.
Well, isn't that the other beauty of it? You can be as active as you want or as passive as you choose to be.
Yeah.
One way you'll build quicker. The other way, you're still going to be a success. That's the beauty of this.
Absolutely. If you listen to our founder guru, Michael Williams, now this is a university educated, okay? He's got a mathematics degree from a university. And if I can just kind of paraphrase what Michael says, he says, look, if you do nothing, if you come in as a founder and you do nothing else, by the end of year 1, after we launch, you're going to be making several thousand a month. If you come in as a founder before we go into soft launch and you start building your network so that now we've got something to work with and we can start putting more teams, no more people in your network before we launch, and then continue after we launch, then you'll be into 6 figures the first year. And I mean, it's a no-brainer. It is done for you. It's literally done. I mean, and you don't have to have any expertise. You don't need to be a marketer. I mean, I'm not, never was. I still am not, though I do love my videos. You don't have to be a marketer. You don't have to have a business. If you come in as a founder, ONPASSIVE's digital ecosystem, the 50 departments, which are all standalone businesses, and they could all be unicorns on their own right. I mean, man, the phenomenal flow of money, it is a wealth generating machine that Mr. Mufara has created here, and it's all put together in the right way. So you could literally not have a business. ONPASSIVE becomes your business. You pick a website name, and then it goes on autopilot. It starts doing everything, and then the following month you start making cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. It's going to blow you away.
It is. And you can see why people involved are so excited, because it is literally a game changer.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of perspectives that you might want to grab hold of here mentally if you can. Number one is the entire existence of ONPASSIVE is to do one thing, and that is to lift the human condition, to lift humanity as a whole. And you might say, whoa, that's a whole lot of, that's a big, tall order, but you know how we do it? We do it because we understand that as founders, right? We come in as founders, 450,000 of us as of right now. By the time we launch, I would imagine having minimally 750,000 founders. And the way that we lift humanity through ONPASSIVE, and I'm telling you what, Mr. Mufar has got, what a brainiac. My hat is off to him. But the way that we lift the entire world is because we know that before we can help each other, you can help somebody or I can help somebody, we've got to have our own gas tank filled, so to speak, right? I've got to have enough to put shoes on my children before I can go across the street and put shoes on her 2 children.
Indeed.
So Ash says, you know what? We're building this thing from the ground up. This is how we're going to do it, because we're going to fill your tanks first. And then you're going to be making so much extra that you're going to be able to go across your street. You're going to be able to go downtown. You're going to go into your community. You're going to start making charitable donations. You're going to have enough to where you can start handing it out and you can start affecting everybody around you. And so when you take what is going to be by the, if we got a million or more founders by the time we finish up with soft launch, it wouldn't surprise me. So if you take 1 million founders that are making more money than they've ever made in their life, so that now they can go out and they can start helping the world. I mean, you think about this. We're in 212 countries plus.
Yes.
Wow. That's how we're going to do it. It's a trickle-down economics, because if Jeffrey is sitting here and I'm making 10, 20, 30,000 a month, don't think for a minute that I won't be down here at my Chamber of Commerce or down here or across the street. I mean, I've got people on my block that could use, hey, how about if I pay your electric bill this month? Or how about if I pay your mortgage off? How about if the sky's the limit? We've got people right now in founders already coming up with ideas about how we can spread the wealth and how we can help everybody in the world and lift it all up. I mean, I'm going crazy with you now. Sorry, but I get excited when I start talking about this.
Yeah, I hear you. So, okay, in light of all of this, and to kind of pull it all together, why do you think people are hesitant to join ONPASSIVE?
Oh, good question. But you know what? There's a real easy answer, and it's a human answer. Mr. Mufar has experienced it. How many people have been burnt? How many people have been lied to? How many people have been swindled or scammed? Or how many people have lost money or been outright stolen from? I mean, flat out thievery online. People man, that's why ONPASSIVE was created, because Mr. Mufar went through every one of those things I just mentioned. And I would almost guarantee that anybody looking at ONPASSIVE, it's going to be just like me when I started out. I'm like, that ain't going to work. Nobody does that. You can't do that. Like my daddy used to say, hey, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And that's exactly what I told my sponsor. Too good to be true. Never happened. Well, I was wrong. I am still wrong. And that's why people, they look at it and they think, I've been burned one too many times. And I don't care if it's 900 or if it's 97. It's the idea, I'm not going to let somebody take advantage of me one more time, and I'm not going to invest in something that I don't believe is going to work to start with. That is why. I did a very good video on that, and it's called The Skeptic's Redemption. And it talks about cynicism and skepticism and where it comes from and why we've got it. And it took me a long time to get over it, too. I mean, I was like, man, I lost several $1,000s with that whole Bitcoin and some of these online things, in a period of a few short months before I found ONPASSIVE. So I was kind of smarting, I mean, that hurts. Nobody wants to jump back into the fire after you crawl back out. You want to heal a little bit. But that's why ONPASSIVE was made, because the 97% of us that tried something online and we've been taken advantage of, or we've been lied to or stolen from, or for whatever reason, we have not been successful. You may make a few dollars here and there, or maybe even just, but you aren't really successful, and you certainly weren't prosperous and don't live in abundance over it. That's why ONPASSIVE has been created, because he went through those same things too. So to get back to your original, or not the original, but the last question, why don't people want to join? Because they're skeptics. And there's a difference between being skeptical and cynical. Cynical is a lot deeper. I mean, cynical people, they'll attack your beliefs as opposed to attacking an idea.
Right.
But cynicism, we've all got it, and if we can just look past that and look at what we've got, and it kind of goes in line with what I was saying before about lifting up humanity. That was one of them. I said there was two things we wanted to look at, perspectives. And one of them was because we're not about making money. It's not only about making money. It is a wealth generating platform, but that's secondary, which is really cool because, I mean, remember Jesus in the good book, he said, hey, you follow me first, get after my goals, and everything you want is going to come in behind you. Well, ONPASSIVE is kind of like that. They're saying, here's our goal. We want to lift humanity. We want to do what is right for the ultimate good and the highest good of humanity. And if we do this, then everything else is going to come in behind it. So that's what we want to do. Secondarily, we want to look at ONPASSIVE as a single entity. You don't want to try. If you went out and looked at your car, you wouldn't say to your daughter, hey, go out in that thing out there that has 4 tires, 4 rims, a motor, and start naming off pieces. You'd say, go to the car and get this, right? Same thing with ONPASSIVE. We want to say ONPASSIVE. It's everything under one umbrella. It's all ONPASSIVE. It's a total internet solution. So when we think of ONPASSIVE, that's really how we should think of it. We shouldn't try to break it into pieces. It'll be a lot easier for us to understand. But with the cynic and the cynicism and the people that are saying, oh, this will never work, it can't work, and then they start picking it apart and trying to figure out things, it ain't going to work. If you just look at this thing like a total internet solution, everything is in one spot under one roof for one low price. You don't have to be, I mean, it's if you read the vision statement that we've got,
right,
doesn't matter who you are, where you are, what color you are, where you live, what you know, what you don't know, doesn't matter. All you have to do, Michael Williams said it. He is the king of simple. He said, all you got to do is get in. That's all you got to do. Just get in, And so that's our message. Just get in. Even if you don't understand it, just get in, because it will make sense to you and you will start making money even when you don't understand it. So that's kind of cool.
Oh, that is a perfect ending to this about just get in.
Get in.
That's the thing. There's nothing to lose. You have your 97 that's refundable lifetime if you're unhappy once you have a look around.
Yeah.
So really, it's a no-brainer. Like I said earlier, go get a brighter light bulb, because this is truly something that is well worth that $97 and beyond.
There's something else that might trigger your dream imagination. Dr. Bill Williams on the webinar the other day, he brought it out, and this is kind of neat because it's kind of how I started when I first got in. I bought mine, and then I brought my wife in and all 3 of my kids in, and then I brought in like 6 people that I just want to give these to, right? And when he came on the other week, what he said was, this is how you build a legacy. You bring your family in. But if you want to build a dynasty, then you buy and put under those people. And I mean, go out and find your cousins and buy them and get them in so that you got 15 or 20 of your family here. Beautiful. Man, you talk about residual lifetime income for the next 100 generations. That's a dynasty. That's that you can do.
Yeah. Wow, Jeffrey. Man, that has been the best 30-some minutes that I have had in a long time. This is just wonderful. I so appreciate you taking the time. This is really, well, not that I wasn't excited before, because I have been, but, when you talk and you hear somebody else's feedback on things, you really see that, oh my goodness, this is way huger than we're actually seeing. And
it's big. It is bigger than what you even know. I got excited so many months ago, and I was trying to explain, because I barely even touched the surface on how big this thing is. I could wheedle how ONPASSIVE is a part of everything that's going to be happening, and they explain those things to you. But some of it would blow your mind. So when Mr. Mufara says, "You think this is good? You ain't seen nothing yet." The man is serious. The man is very, very serious. You're thinking how good this is. It is 10 times bigger than what you think it is. And you keep that in mind, and you keep in mind that once we launch, they've already got 6 phases of rollouts, not to mention the super campaigns, and they've got things in the works that are being done and developed. And I mean everything from new software, cutting edge software, to inventions that are physical items. I mean, they've got things that they haven't even talked about yet. So as good as this is, Mr. Mufara is dead on the money, and he is very serious. It is 10 to 15, 20 times bigger than you think. And it is global, and it will be more global, and we will affect billions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. Jeffrey, once again, I want to say thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for taking the time and going through all of this. This has just been marvelous. I'm going to let you go. Have a fantastic day, Jeffrey.
I'm going to try real hard, but it's easy when I'm living around here.
Awesome. Thanks again, Jeffrey. Bye for now.
Okay. Bye-bye.
So there you have it. Oh my goodness, you guys. Really, that was just marvelous. So I hope you enjoy. I would love to hear your comments. Keep them coming. I will answer you as soon as I possibly can. And if you're interested in that ebook, let me know. I will get it to you. Either you can give me your email, or I can message you here if you're on Facebook. And yeah, thank you guys so much. I am really, really blessed that you were able to join us, and I hope you enjoyed. So Tyra here in the spotlight. Have a super day.
Hello again, and I am just giving you a little bit of a closeout here because, as a founder with ONPASSIVE, we have a wonderful, wonderful chance to do so much more than we ever thought that would be possible. And the way that Mr. Mufara has made this thing available to us, it's going to be a lot easier and a lot faster than what we possibly even thought it would be. So if an existing founder has invited you to join, please get back with that founder. Sign up with them. If that's not the case, then I would certainly love to have you in our team right now. Just click the link in the description box below and register with us. There's also Tyra's link in there, and if you'd like to join her team. But either way, regardless of whatever you decide to do, again, we just wish blessing and blessing upon you and upon your family for the entire new year.